Some of you guys know that I love Mass Effect. Mass Effect, I would say the Mass Effect games are my favorite games that I've ever played. I think I finished the first one 26, 27, maybe 30 times. Second one, 2 to 3. The third one, once. But I just the Shepard story and all that. I freaking love it with the choices, with what's going on with the story, the lore. That is BioWare peak story game. So Exodus will be the one to play no matter what we play at that time. We gotta fucking play Exodus. Fuck yeah.
How much are you willing to sacrifice to save your world?
Ah!
Hi everyone, I'm Lucy and I am joined by the Exodus team. So we've got Drew and Chad. Thank you so much for joining me. So
Chad, my boy, Anthem. Fuck that they give a Drew Kopcha narrative director. He also writes Mass Effect 4.
shooting this before the Game Award.
Give Anthem to these guys, please.
But I still have many questions for you. As soon as I saw this interview kind of come through the email, I was like, I'm taking that one, thank you very much. I went on Archetype's website, and there's a quote on there that I found very exciting. Your mission is to create the greatest sci-fi role-playing games in the world.
Yeah.
What does that quote mean to you in 2025?
I can remember the origins of that quote when we first started the studio. We take it very seriously. Like, our goal is to make something that can resonate with fans and stand the test of time. There's a bunch of amazing...
It's coming out in 27, but I mean, hey, it's the old good BioWare guys.
Sci-fi IPs out there, and also a bunch of amazing sci-fi IP-based video games. Some that we've worked on previously. We would love to someday be, referenced at that kind of hallmark level of, legendary games that fans still love, decades from now. And
yes.
The decisions we make when we're working on Exodus are very much based in that every single day, to try to be smart about being smart developers, but also be smart about doing the right things qualitatively to get to a benchmark that we can be very proud of for a very long time.
And so when you are approaching a game, like especially brand new one, where do you start? What are the building blocks? How do you know that things are kind of falling into place a bit?
I mean, of course, it obviously starts with
the
having
world looks so freaking good.
Very talented people. We're extremely lucky to have an incredibly diverse and talented group from many successful studios who've come together to create something. But then we also really want to make sure that we have a solid IP world built. We want to have the depth, the scope. We want to have all sorts of things to explore in our universe. That allows us to dig deep on many different things, explore a lot of different themes, take it in different directions. As the project evolves, we're able to see what resonates with us because we're fans of science fiction, and take those things and run with them, bring them to the forefront, and really just explore all these different corners and give the player opportunity to explore all sorts of different corners that they want to get into as well.
And I suppose your eyes and experiencing this through the character June, how do you approach building a character that has to be, they have to be a person, but still leaving enough for the player to insert themselves into?
Yeah, so you're right. June can be male or female. This is the story of June. You begin the game as a lowly salvager on your home world of Leiden, and as the game progresses, you discover that June has a connection to a very powerful traveler dynasty, and you have some unique genetic enhancements that allow you to use powerful celestial technology in ways other people can't. And using those advantages and a collection of companions and allies, you slowly rise up to claim your role as a leader. But how you do that is something we want the players to be able to choose and decide what journey they take. So we kind of give you a very basic starting position, and you don't know a lot about the world as a character, June, because you're going to discover it as the players do too. As June becomes more powerful, influential, and learns more about the greater universe out there, players will also learn it. So it's a good way to draw players along the character journey at the same time.
In terms of mapping out things like decisions, morally impactful, how are you eking those out across the game? Are they going to be a lot of short-term ones, conversational options that maybe block you off from other characters, and then these big, hey, I'll make this decision hour 2, and then maybe hour 10, I'll come back to that one?
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good summary. I mean, it's a we intended and wanted to be a mix of both. So you've got sort of micro decisions and these bigger ones, but ultimately, cumulatively, June goes on, does like sort of local planet travel fairly frequently on missions, but at bigger moments in the game, there's Exodus missions that he undergoes, and those are the ones that involve travel at near light speed where time dilation comes into play. And the quick summary there is if you're traveling at near light speed, time moves more slowly for you than for those back on your home world. And so June has made tough choices about who he might leave behind, decisions about his dynasty, and other things that could impact what's going on in his homeworld while he's gone.
What?
And so the time passage there is much greater.
Holy
and so when he
shit.
returns, the consequences of those choices unfold at a much greater and more epic scale. And so there's a combination of smaller decisions and bigger decisions and choices that you make, and those basically tally up to a place where you get back to your homeworld and see the consequences of all that together at one time. And that happens several times throughout the game at a much bigger scale. It's pretty cool.
So we're talking potentially, people dying back home and...
Yeah, we're going to save spoilers, but yeah, you can. I mean, as humans, there's a lot of things that can happen to you when you're gone for extended periods of time, or for those that are left behind as well.
Oh boy, I'm already kind of anxious about that.
So Lucy, like one of the things that we love, we like those put the controller down moments when you're trying to make a decision in a game. Like that was one of the mantras we had very early on. If like the more moments we can create like that for players, where it's just that angst-ridden, what do I do here? Because I know there's going to be something that happens amazingly down either path that I choose. If we get that right, we will get that right. Like that's good. There's going to be plenty of those moments in Exodus for people.
And of course, obviously, needs to have his crew with him. So can we talk a little bit more about some of the folks who'll be joining? Not all human, I understand.
Yeah, you have a pretty wide-reaching array of companions. So we've got a few that are already featured in our trailers on our website. You have Tom and Elise. They're both human. Tom is sort of your level-headed, get things done guy, the planner. Elise has a giant mech suit and likes to just smash things in the face, which is the way I like to roll. You have other companions. One that we're introducing now is Salt, who is an awakened octopus. So the awakened are hyper-intelligent animals. She is a pilot of her own mech suit. She is a companion who joins you fairly early in the game. Like most of our companions, there are relationships you can have. Salt is not
Sex with a squid?
in humans, so you can't have a romantic relationship with her. But many of your companions, you can have romantic relationships. They all have their own goals and wants and motivations. So as you're going through your companions, you have to decide who you want to prioritize, who you want to sort of side with. They're going to have their own conflicts and disputes. And managing this and accepting the consequences of the choices you've made and deciding who you want to side with or against is a big part of the role-playing experience.
And I wonder how, if talking the infamous romance and relationship building, you think about Mass Effect. I was wondering, as you worked on it, how has that approach to building relationships with squad mates changed compared to Mass Effect versus Exodus? Is there anything new you're trying for this, or are there things that you're like, we did that already, we're doing something else? I mean, as we've often said among ourselves and even publicly, there's a long history of games like Mass Effect that we have a lot of respect for. We've obviously been involved in. We want to sort of keep the spirit of those things alive. The companion relationships is obviously a big part of that. But what we're trying to do is also take things to another level. So some of that is our own experience. We're just sort of getting better. We know what works, what doesn't work. Some of it is technology. Things just are so much more impressive how they look now and how they feel. But a big part of our game is adding in that element of time dilation, which just magnifies every choice you make. So if you choose to go on an Exodus mission, you might leave some of these people behind. And obviously, if you have a romance going with someone and you're gone for years or decades or maybe even generations, it's going to have a pretty serious impact on that relationship. So we've just tried to elevate the bar, take it to a new level. That's really what we're focusing on with this game, is making the kind of things we love, but taking them to a level fans haven't really seen before. And what was the approach to Celestials in creation, and how are you going to interact with them and see them in the game? Yeah, so our game is set in a very far, 15,000 years away from Earth Centauri cluster. And our ships from Earth in the 23rd century all traveled there. Some of them got there very early, and those people evolved and changed over thousands of years and became transhuman. They became Celestials. They were once human, but they've evolved and changed so much in different branches that they're almost alien. And
The humans in our game that you play, June, for example, are newcomers. They've only recently arrived in the last, maybe 100 years. So they are still basically humans as we know them. But interacting with these Celestials, they see us as primitive, unevolved.
Interesting. Holy shit. Oh, I love the world building in this. I love it.
If we're lucky, they see us as a nuisance.
Look at
if we're
that.
lucky,
She's
they see us as
badass.
something that needs to be exterminated. So that is one of the core conflicts of our universe, is this conflict between humans trying to find their place in a society that is far more technologically advanced than they are, and really kind of looks down on them.
Obviously, the game, when it was announced a couple years ago, McConaughey on stage. There are interstellar vibes. I was interested, first of all, how you got Matthew McConaughey involved, and what his role is going to be. And then I'd love to talk about inspirations. So, McConaughey.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. Before answering your specific question, I'll just say, like, we're a collection of just game development nerds, and so the opportunity to work with somebody like Matthew McConaughey was like, still, it's obviously a thrill, but also just sometimes it's like, did this really happen? We've been working with him for a few years now. He's been an amazing partner, super collaborative with us. This is his first video game, and in the trailer that we showed, that's the first reveal of his characters. Characters named CC Orlev. CC serves in the game as sort of a mentor and an advisor to June. There's some mystery behind that in terms of how he appears, when he appears. The advice that he gives to June sometimes isn't exactly what June may want to hear, but CC's had a little bit more experience than he has. And so that paints an interesting relationship between the two of them. CC also serves as a bit of a voice.
So basically, he's a main character. That is freaking awesome.
The people in the game, and so that's a nice twist where sometimes he doesn't agree with the choices that June makes, and so you'll hear a bit of that through his commentary with his in the home world that June lives in. In terms of how the connection to Matthew was established. The exact connection we had that established, I don't even recall exactly, but what made it a working situation for us was one where we had a call with him, and ultimately describing the game to him, because of his background in Interstellar, he immediately understood what time dilation could mean, and then understood that in an interactive environment, the magnitude with which we could tell a story beyond what even he was able to do with the movie Interstellar was something that was super intriguing to him. And so it made sort of the pitch to him much easier, and he was into it like almost immediately, which was amazing.
That's a guy that understands, loves his craft, and loves sci-fi.
And then ultimately we just continued to talk to him, and ultimately landed at a place where he was ready to work with us. As you may remember, he was with us when we first announced the game in 2023. We've done a bunch of work.
23. The game was announced in 23, and it's coming out in 27. Why the fuck? Like, don't announce games. When it's not coming out in so long. I mean, why not? Wait. Like, fucking, why not announce a game in January and release it in June? Huh? Come on. Come on. Come on.
Work with him since. Drew and the team do a lot of writing and adapting based on the feedback that he's given us, which is super nice.
How many all rights do you have to put in there? Do you have to put?
I was going to say the line that has preceded me all my career. All right, all right, all right.
Triple.
Well,
Triple. 3.
We'll say that. But we did make his character a bit of a space cowboy, so we feel that's on brand.
Yeah, he's definitely influenced some of the things we've done, and he's picked up on elements of the IP really quickly and given us feedback on it, which has been super cool.
Awesome. And so obviously we'll wrap up soon, but like Interstellar, any other key inspirations? Because I know there's a book, a secret level, so there's ways to prepare for Exodus.
Sure. I mean, as you alluded to, there's a lot of source material out there now that we've developed. So we have the book from Peter Hamilton. We have Adrian Tchaikovsky, another very talented science fiction writer, who's done some short stories for us. They're on our website. Really fascinating stuff. They've kind of helped us develop this universe. We have the tabletop role-playing books. But all of this is inspired by sort of classic sci-fi. I mean, we're big fans of things like Star Wars, Star Trek, Dune, these sort of classic sci-fi inspirations have helped guide us.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's, as we've alluded to, games we've worked on, games we've admired. All of this is sort of things you take in as a creator, and you try to capture the spirit of them and the theme of them, but present it in a new, unique way, right? You don't want to just make something that feels familiar, but you want to honor the spirit of what's out there.
Well, Drew, Chad, thank you so much for joining me. And for more on Exodus, I'm hoping we get hands on it sooner rather than later. I'm very excited to play.
I mean, I'm happy. Exodus, finally, like, we get that before Mass Effect, but it feels like Mass Effect. I can't wait to jump into that world again. Like, that kind of feel, that kind of vibe. The RPG feel that sci-fi games had is just irreplaceable. But 27 can't come soon enough.